It's November 1st, 2022, and wrestling is hot. It's on fire. WWE and all of these companies are doing great things. We're going to take a look today at our news topics for today's video. Yes, we are going to talk about GCW because GCW has launched some very big news in regards to their streaming future. We're also going to talk about another WWE return that could be in the works. And of course, we have an update on CM Punk, and it looks like retirement could be on the table. So I want to kick things off first and foremost with GCW. If you guys are unaware, GCW has made the announcement today that they will now be streaming on Fight TV's new streaming app called Fight Plus. So basically what's going to happen is GCW is going to have a backlog of content that will be available to Fight TV on Fight Plus, and essentially it's going to be $5 a month. There's a couple different perks that you get when you sign up with the streaming service, but essentially a whole bunch of other companies are joining this streaming network. Despite the fact that GCW was heavily teasing some sort of involvement with WWE, that doesn't actually appear to be the case this time because Fight and GCW have linked up for this new partnership. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense. I do have a couple concerns considering that Fight TV is owned by Triller, and honestly, from what I've seen and what I've read, things are a little funky over there. But I think this is actually a really good move, especially for independent wrestling companies. I know that the NWA is on there, and I know that there's some other organizations that are going to be on there. So ultimately, more eyes on GCW is definitely a good thing. But I do have to wonder, what is this future going to look like for GCW? Is there going to be an improvement in production quality? And I know a lot of people will argue that GCW having this lower tier production is what makes part of the products feel special and grungy and all of these different things. And while I definitely understand that argument, there are times where I'm watching GCW and there's audio issues or there's visual issues, and that is kind of unacceptable in today's day and age where technology and, all of these companies are able to provide high quality live streams of their shows. So I hope that GCW in the future can improve on that. But yeah, this is actually good news for GCW, and I think this is a good news for wrestling companies in general. And I wouldn't be shocked to see more companies get involved in this part of the world and streaming and all of this great things that are happening. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, big move for GCW. I understand why they were trying to tease people about some sort of involvement with WWE. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? All right, guys, I want to turn our attention to another news story. This time, I want to talk about Tegan Knox. Tegan Knox is somebody who's been rumored for a WWE return, and I'm very curious to see what happens here, because if you guys don't remember, Tegan Knox was supposed to come back to independent wrestling after her WWE release. We didn't see that due to visa issues. And now that WWE has brought back Tennille Dashwood, aka Emma, and of course we've seen other WWE superstars make their returns in recent months, there is this belief that Tegan Knox could very well come back to WWE. And I have a couple good ideas. So first things first, I just want to make it very clear. Fightful noted that after Emma's return, WWE is now interested in bringing back several women who worked for the company. One name in particular was Tegan Knox. Several WWE sources confirmed to Fightful that the company was interested in her. So good news for Tegan Knox if she finds her way back in WWE. But if I'm WWE and you want to make a big splash with Tegan Knox, guys, I think I have the idea that makes the most sense, especially after watching WWE Raw. And that is, of course, having Tegan Knox return as part of Damage Control. Obviously, with Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Bayley, this is a group that has a little bit of momentum, and then WWE decides to have Asuka and Alexa Bliss win the Women's Tag Team Championship belts. For whatever reason that actually may be, I'm not too sure, but with WWE making that title change, going into Crown Jewel, we're going to get Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a last woman standing match. My best guess is that WWE is going to do something here where Bayley ends up beating Bianca Belair. Now, the way to pull this off would be having a new member join Damage Control and helping her succeed at Crown Jewel. Now, if WWE were to do this and you bring in Tegan Knox, I think it would be very interesting to see her in this role, but I think she would be very fit for this role. In this way, Tegan Knox is not going to have some random return that happens on Raw or SmackDown where she's wrestling, pointless singles matches. This is a great way to get her involved in a storyline that is important to the company. And honestly, props to WWE, and more specifically, props to Triple H for understanding that some of the people that were released should have never been released to begin with. And whether you look at these people as, world champions or whatever it may be, these are talented individuals that are needed in the show. You got to freshen up the women's division, and I think this is a great way to do it. I'm excited to see what they end up doing, and ultimately, I am excited to see how it all goes down. And guys, for our final topic of today's video, CM Punk. Obviously, we've talked a lot about CM Punk. Is he going to WWE? Is he, what the hell is happening with CM Punk? So now there is some very interesting news, because it appears that CM Punk is done with wrestling. And this comes from Nick Hausman. And of course, we got to talk about Dave Meltzer, because there has been a lot of talk about this on the Wrestling Observer Radio, noting that Punk is not short of money and currently has road paths to Hollywood, essentially. And obviously, with all of this stuff that is happening in AEW in regards to the All Out Brawl, I don't expect Tony Khan to do anything or say anything publicly about this matter. I don't even know if CM Punk himself will come out publicly and talk about this matter. Nonetheless, I don't expect the Elite to come out and talk about this for that matter. But I want to read this quote. So Meltzer did note that he doesn't expect a public statement from AEW president Tony Khan regarding the situation potentially ever. As far as what the investigation shows, I don't think we'll ever know that. I don't think we'll ever hear anything from AEW on this subject. I mean, maybe in years we might, but I just don't expect from the fact that we haven't heard anything yet. While Punk is still in talks with AEW about a potential contract buyout, he is on the sidelines after undergoing surgery for an injury he suffered at All Out that will keep him sidelined for several months. Hausman then stated he's heard from people in Punk's camp that he doesn't believe he will wrestle again. And then, of course, this is where things get interesting. Obviously, Stephen Amell and Stars, but there's a lot of people who are saying this guy is never going to wrestle again. And there you have it. CM Punk not returning to wrestling. I wouldn't be shocked, but if this is how the career ends after 7 years of waiting for him to return, I can understand why people are disappointed, and I'll pretty much just leave it at that. But guys, I want to know what you think in the comment section down below. My name is Ango. I'm going to be bringing you guys more videos like this 7 days a week. And of course, the Ango Show Live will return very, very soon. So stay tuned for more information on that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.